Oseo.
Oseo.
That's a Cherokee greeting. And wave the great feather for the good of it. That's a way of summoning the spirits. Here on this important day in the United States of America, the United States of America is a country that's been made over a country that we've already had here, and that is Turtle Island is what we call it. And if you go down here and look at my display here for Turtle Island, this is a old Hopi basket, a coil basket, you can see with the turtle on it. It's made of yucca splits sewed around grass. And the Hopi culture still has a very active basket culture, and these kind of baskets are usually made and given by grandmothers and aunties to little children. And they have various images on them for the child to grow up in beginning to imbue cultural images. In this case, this is the turtle, and in front of it I have a clay votive turtle here. So that's the way we are introducing. Turtle Island has been here and is still here, and the United States is, well, I don't know if anybody would get upset if I said the United States is piggyback on Turtle Island. My theme is for the buffalo, and the buffalo very much is, you know, important in Turtle Island. If you go all the way over there to the other side here, this is my painting, and the way I would call this painting would be the title for this Coyote talk, and that is The Buffalo That Never Dies. You can see that. I painted this, you know, straight on. It's a wood panel, so it's not anything that I, you know, worked about. So it's straight on. It's an apparition. Takanim is what it's called, for the buffalo who never dies. And back to me. What I can say, I have received an education in a spirituality of Cherokee, and in the evolution of that, shall I say, my first buffalo, because that's my main theme here, I'm going to say my first buffalo in this education was over in Gold Gate Park in San Francisco. And so that would be me going to the west from where I was, and there actually meeting my first buffalo, the initial buffalo. And he was very, very congenial, and that really did start me here. And if you can see this painting up here that I did, this was between 50 and 60 years ago, what I'm talking about, and this is my painting from that time. This is one of several paintings, and I had called the series Disappearing Wildlife series, in which I had a show in Quincy at the Regional Museum, and this was one of those paintings. But here I'm showing, this is initial for me in vision or dreaming of buffalo and buffalo men, and the turtle is up here and Coyote is here. So all that, you know, begins us. And we go up here to this photograph, a beautiful portrait of the animal, the buffalo, and this is buffalo fur on the bottom of it. And with looking at that, I'll have a buffalo chant. Oh ho, hey hey, ho ho ho, Yanasa, hey hey, oh ho, hey hey, ho ho ho, Yanasa, hey hey, ha ha ha. So the word that I used, that I learned in Cherokee, was in this chant, Yanasa. Yanasa is a Cherokee name, the one I learned, Cherokee has different divisions, not exactly dialects, but similar, and so forth. And I think the dialect that I was given seems to be, near the Muskogee. So that's the way that we are going here. If we look here at this piece, last week or the week before, my main theme was white buffalo calf woman here. And so this is my devotional piece for white buffalo woman here. A white buffalo woman is a divinity. She's a divinity that appeared to people in the Lakota Nation here. I believe she had more than one apparition. They were apparitions that people did behold. Now, in these cultures, visions, dreams, apparitions, appearances, all these kind of things, there is a rich vocabulary for that. And so we do have that people were attending the apparition of white buffalo woman, who is a divinity, and a divinity especially of the Lakota, but other people I'm sure that are one way or another associated with the buffalo. And if you drop down right below it, this is a nice piece. This is from Canada. So the Canadians are celebrating this illustrious native animal here. And a little bit that goes with it, at the time, like, I don't know, between 50 and 60 years ago, my mentor, is the way I'm trying to put it, the Cherokee fellow that is bringing me through this education, some buffalo were discovered up in Canada that hadn't been known before. So that was something very special. I kind of have this Canadian piece here to remember that. And if we can come down here to this fellow here, he's standing on, this is buffalo fur. This part of the buffalo is like the mane right here. This one is almost black here. And if we could stay focused on that while I give a little reading here. The principle of life is sustained by the sun in the buffalo. The earth is the principle which upholds the individuality of each being. The principle which sustains the individuality of each being is embodied in the buffalo. Thus, buffalo is the specific ground of individuality, whereas the earth is the common ground of all existence. So as we recognize the hoof print of the buffalo in the earth, so do we now have this thought of how we know who we are here. So as the buffalo is the cause of the hoof print, so then our recognition of the real is the being, the buffalo. And the name of Turtle Island in Dakota is Coyote. Remember that. So pretty much everybody generally knows that the people, the Native Americans, very much depended or incorporated this animal into their entire culture. It is more total than I think has even been reported. How the buffalo got started, if we could just come over here and look at it for a change, to his photograph of the buffalo here. The buffalo lived down in the earth. They lived down underground in the earth. And Coyote was going around the way Coyote does, going around the prairie, I guess, and found a hole, an opening in the earth. And he looked down in the earth, and there was another person down there. It was a buffalo looking up at him like that. So they have a little exchange there. And the buffalo said, yeah, we live down here under the earth, and there's no sun. And Coyote's telling this buffalo fellow, said, well, if you all come up here, then you could all be in the sun. So you just kind of come up this way through this hole, and you'll be out here on the prairie under the sun. So that's kind of how they got started there. And if we kind of look at this photograph, I don't know who did this photograph. I think Vivian sent it to me. But it's so touching. And I think it so much expresses the people. The people really call themselves the Buffalo people, the Coyote. And I think it's very, very true, you know, that they assimilated and lived through the buffalo through and through and through and through that way here. So that's a way of thinking about it. And going all the way over there, there's a teepee, a little model, a teepee there. And that was all part of the culture, these wonderful constructions. I don't know how far back they learned to make these, but a real one requires several buffalo hides to make it. I mean, really astounding how many buffalo hides go into it. One report I heard was 60 buffalo hides go into making one of these. These were, their houses. The name teepee has different usages. Like you have walk-on teepee would be a sacred teepee. And when white buffalo calf woman made her appearance, she required that they have or make anew a walk-on teepee for her apparition there. So that's very, very significant. And a little Lakota piece for that, is this land is the teepee we have always lived in. Women, like the poles that hold up the buffalo hide teepees, are holding up this earth. And in Lakota, Nawanka Oroa Wazila, meaning rising up always. Alongside of it there, this is a Navajo sand painting, very, very interesting, that is showing the sacred nature of the teepee here. And you have, a guardian here for that. Above here, somebody from Nevada has given me a buffalo mandala. If you come over here to this one here, there is continuum of a society. Native America still is a culture here and still continues any way that we can and do carry on, even with differences of a dominant culture. So this shield would be made by a woman or young woman, most certainly, that shows the hoof prints of the buffalo there that I had just recited. And there is a whole culture concerning this part of the culture for women and young women. So we'll see more about that in a minute. When you come over here to this shield that I actually found, it is of ostensibly a blue buffalo that has been made out of different kinds of fur. So I'm bringing as much as I can of the buffalo to this here. And here, this is a touching little piece here of the cow, and her calf here is a white calf here. Now, if you can just, I'm going to read this piece and you can kind of, with the camera, circulate around, because the title of this piece is Lakota Spirits. Now, English, has this word spirit and spirits, and that's an English word from Latin. But other languages, the names for spirits have been translated into spirits. In Lakota Wanagi, for one. Whether we have the same sense and the same meaning in both names, I'm not so sure. It depends here. But this one I am titling Lakota Spirits. The thunderbird, Wakinian, hidden in the clouds, a voice of thunder. Mapia, the sky, heaven, the clouds. Maka, this earth, spirit of the earth, who hears our invocations. Wehohe Yanpa, spirit of the east, where the sun arrives. Tatanka, the spirit of the buffalo, and the buffalo is the guardian of young women and maidens. Mato, spirit of the bear. Mika, the spirit of Coyote. The spirit of the wolf. Sung Manitou, and Sunku is the dog spirits. Hey Haka, that's the spirit of the elk. Papa is the beaver's spirit. Wanbli is the eagle spirit who presides over our councils. And the spirit of the hawk is Ketang. Zuzeka is the snake's spirit who is unknown and unseen. While the powers of the occult belong to Hanuska, the frog. So if you can go all the way down there to the frog, he's smoking his golden pipe, and that basket he is standing next to, that is a shaman's feather basket. So they very much go together here. And that is the powers of the occult belong to the frog. And then we have him go up here again to the turtle. Is Kea, the turtle. The spirit is the guardian of life. And Umtomni is the spider spirit. You just go around, look at anything here. Listen to the air. You can hear it, feel it. Wania Wakan, the holy air, renews all by its breath. We feel it between us as a presence. A good way to think about nature is as a presence, as to our relatives. Meta Kowe Oyase, all are related. So that's very much how we are encompassing all of this special event. I'll probably be able to continue this in following weeks, but here in every way to say we are here always, always, and this is still our country in which we are rooted. Dakanaweda was there an ancient, like we call him a prophet, peace prophet. Anyway, he made a prophecy, the Dakanaweda prophecy, which was renewed by the Tuscarora mad bear. And I was acquainted with his niece in Vivian's classroom up there in Nevada. Anyway, but the outcome of it is that these people coming here in Turtle Island will be mixing together, and we will bring out a new people, new people that's kind of mixed together like yucky stew for a new world. And here we seem to be right on the cusp of maybe having a new presidential candidate. So that's what's happening today. So very much so. I don't think I've missed anything. No, Oh, this is a medicine piece, you know, up there. She's pointing to the medicine piece there. That's, you know, what I can say that it is, you know, that I have that. So I have that there. So to say, you know, all this that I'm bringing here for the medicine of Turtle Island and the medicine of the buffalo, Yanasa, here. And so, very much so. Thank you. Yeah.